Hello, this is Michał from IBREG, and today we'll talk about Korean Ibanez Prestige guitars. When you think Ibanez Prestige, it's natural to think it's made in Japan guitar, because right now all Prestige guitars are made in Japan. But it wasn't always like that. Mostly between 2005 and 2008, around 15 models from S series, and also guitars like SA2020 or SA4020 and SA2160 or SA2020 were made in Korea. Ibanez gets a lot of hate for those names, but I actually like them. They're very descriptive and they help you figure out a bit of the features of the guitar. So let's decode the name of this guitar. SA obviously stands for series. SA series is a guitar that you can track back to mid-80s when Roadstar series were introduced. Roadstar series kind of morphed into RG series around 87, 88, but in 1987 they also introduced a series called Roadstar Pro. Roadstar Pro has 5 sub-series in it. There were 2 guitars like Turbot and Ballback that were not very popular, they didn't sell well and were discontinued. They were kind of Telecaster shaped guitar with some modifications. There was also Power series that was a bit like Offset RG series. It had a very rectangular profile and had a bit more aggressive look. They were stopped being produced in 1991. Another series, Radius, had a profile that was a bit like a teardrop or maybe aircraft airfoil. So it was a bit thin on the top and get rounded and thick on the bottom. They were produced under 1994, but they're still in Ibanez line in the form of Joe Satriani series, because JS series are just slightly modified Radius. And the third one from the Roadstar Pro was Sabre, which lives up today in the form of S series. They were kinda arched both on top and bottom with a very thin edges and thicker middle. So they had kind of profile like a sword or saber. And the SA series is a sub-series of S series introduced in maybe year 2000, and it still has a arched top, but the bottom of it is flat. They had a very flat belly. Now to the number 2020. Traditionally in Ibanez numbering, 4-digit guitars, so like over 1,000, are restricted to Prestige guitars. 2000 is just better than 1000 series Prestige guitars. And 20 means double humbucker configuration. FM stands for flame maple top. This guitar has a flame maple top. And VV stands for color, which is vintage violin. That's kind of similar to like Gibson Tobacco Sunburst, a bit brown on the outside and a bit more yellow honey in the middle. This guitar serial number is W75000 and then 2 other numbers. So what does it mean? W stands for World Factory in Korea. That was one of the factories building Ibanez guitars in Korea around 2005. 7 stands for July and 5 for year 2005. So this guitar was around 1,000 something guitar made on July 2005 in World Factory in Korea. And this guitar was only produced in 2005. In 2006 there was a very similar model that had just slightly different wood configuration, but basically the same model. I think the color was a bit more honey burst than tobacco burst. The guitar feels very light and very comfortable. I'm used to playing RG series, so this is like completely different kind of guitar. It still has this super Strat shape, but it's much lighter. It has a much more easier access to top because of the arching. It's a very good build quality, much better than other Korean guitars I own, so that's I guess where the prestige factor comes in. I think the build quality is on par with Japanese Prestiges. I think what actually is lacking though is quality of the materials. The flame maple top on this guitar is like, it is a bit flamey, but it's not even book matched. It's not the best flame you can see. RG series made in Japan guitars will have much nicer flame on top. So Ibanez can do better flames, but this is just not one of them. Price-wise, this guitar was listed for $999 in 2005, and it kept its value pretty well. If you search for sold guitar on Reverb, they sell for around $700-800. So I would say like 20-30% drop of value over 15 years. It's a very good score. Let's discuss the construction of this guitar. As I mentioned, it has flame maple top. It has African mahogany body. You can see the grain of the wood through the lacquer, and it's pretty nice grain. The neck is a 5-piece set-in neck, so it's not bolted on. It's not also going all the way through. It just glued a few centimeters into the body. It's very common among Gibson guitars, this kind of construction of guitar, but also quite a lot of SA series are built like that. It has 5-piece necks, 2 pieces of maple, 2 stripes of walnut. It's a 25.5 inch scale. Headstock is tilted back, very common for Ibanez. It has the typical pointy headstock. There is a mahogany veneer on top of the headstock. The whole neck is binded with a yellow binding. I'm not a fan of this yellow binding. It kind of makes guitar look a bit cheaper in my eye. The tuners are Goto. They have a plastic machine head that mimic the ivory. It's set up with Dimarzio NYXL 942 strings. The truss-rod cover is made of rosewood, and also fretboard is made of rosewood with a special Prestige inlay. There was also fret markers on the top that are made from abalone or something like that. The neck is quite thick for Ibanez. It's 3mm thicker both on the beginning and end compared to Wizard neck from that year. It has also very rounded fretboard, 250mm of radius compared to 400mm of most of RG series. Some of them even have 430mm, so they're very flat compared to this one. It has a lot of feel of like thinner Fender necks in terms of shape and thickness and so on. This guitar has a chrome hardware. We have chrome pickup rings. Those are very characteristic for SA series. I really like those pickup rings. They're very nice. They're slightly arched to fit the arch of the body. 2 knobs, tone and volume, or actually volume tone, 5-way switch. The SAT Pro tremolo. This is a single locking tremolo. You don't have a lock on the nut. It has very smooth movement. I actually like this tremolo quite a lot, even though I'm more of a fan of Edge Pro and Edge. It's very good for doing dive bombs. It's not very great for pulling up because tuning stability is not great. I think this guitar could do much better with locking tuners. Speaking also about nuts, that's not locking nut and it's a plastic nut. Again, probably I could see a better quality choice of materials here. In Prestige I would expect maybe brass or something else. Pickups, as I mentioned, 2 humbuckers. There was a Dimarzio Ibanez humbuckers. They were designed and made by Dimarzio in the United States. 5-way switch. So this guitar has a common setup for 2 humbuckers and a 5-way switch. Humbucker on the neck position in the first position. On second position it's a split coil humbucker. On third position you get both humbuckers running. Fourth position you get like just 1 coils each from each humbucker, and of course the 5th position is a bridge humbucker. Those pickups has fairly high output but not crazy high. They're very universal, you can play a lot of stuff. They're quite warm, but they have also nice harmonics. For me, I play mostly metal music, and I would feel they're a bit weak. So usually I like to kick it with a bit of a tube screamer or some other booster before the amplifier. But today I'm just gonna play into amplifiers to get kinda good sound. Jack socket is carved in the top of the body, very easy access. It's very common for all the S series to have access on the top. Alright, let's play that guitar. I'm playing through orange micro dark small amplifier together with a 8 inches cabinet. It's not a great setup, but it's just gonna gives you a feel how the different switching sounds on this guitar. Overall, I don't see any drastical drop of quality compared to Japanese Prestiges. It's a well-built guitar. It kept its value over the years. It plays very nicely. If you don't like the pickups, it's very easy to upgrade them. So yeah, definitely very nice guitar, and I'm quite convinced right now to SA series. I was never kind of appealed to them, but this feels like a very middle ground between S series and RG. It's very affordable option. I like this guitar. As you can see, I'm not the greatest guitar player, but that's not the point of this video. I'm a big fan of Ibanez guitars. I really like to dig into technicalities on how guitars works and how they're built, and analyze those crazy Ibanez names. So if you'd like to see more videos like that, like and subscribe, and hopefully see you later.